Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are adding and subtracting unlike fractions. So let's start. Our learning objective for today is we are adding and subtracting unlike fractions of different denominators. So unlike fractions mean they have different denominators. Our S to S for today are the first one is we need to check the denominators. We need to see if the denominators are the same or different. Step 2, we need to find a common multiple if they are different. Step 3, we need to make the denominators the same. And step 4, we need to add or subtract the numerators. And step 5, we need to check if we can simplify or reduce our answer. So let's just quickly recap your previous lesson on adding fractions with like denominators. Like denominators here means the denominators are the same. For example, example 1, 1 out of 2 or half plus 3 half or 3 out of 2. So first thing first, we need to see if the denominators are the same. Yes, they are. So we can only add or subtract if the denominators are the same. So when they are the same, then it's fine. So when they are the same, you can just add the numerators. So the numerators are 1 plus 3 gives us 4. So we have 4 out of 2 as the answer. But ask yourself, can you reduce or can you simplify this answer? Make it smaller. So yes, you can. You can divide it by 2. So here we have 4 divided by 2 gives us 2. 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. So 2 out of 1, this simply means 2. Number 2, 5 out of 8 minus 3 out of 8. First thing first, check if the denominators are the same. Yes, they are the same. We have 8 as the denominators. Then when they are the same, you can minus the numerators. So the numerators are 5 minus 3. We have 2 out of 8. Now ask yourself, can you reduce or can you simplify your answer? So if both the numerators and the denominators are even numbers, yes, you can. So you can divide this by 2. So this becomes 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. Now ask yourself again, can you further simplify or reduce this fraction? If it's the smallest and you cannot reduce it further, then that's your answer. Today we are adding and subtracting unlike fractions, meaning they have different denominators. For example, example 1, 23 out of 2 plus 9 out of 4. Step 1, check the denominators. Let's check the denominators. So we have 2 and we have 4. So you can't really add the numerators right away. Okay, you cannot add right away because the denominators are different. So that is step 1. Check the denominators. So they are different. Then we need to find a common multiple. So let's list out multiple of 2. So multiple of 2 are 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, I'm pretty sure you know that. Let's just stop at 10. Then we need to find multiples of 4. So we have 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. So let's just stop there. Now we need to find a common multiple, meaning that you need to find what are the numbers that are the same. between multiples of 2 and multiples of 4. The first one that appears are 4 and 4. So the common multiple is 4, which means you need to make the denominator as 4. Because the common multiple between 2 and 4 is 4. So this is already 4, so you don't need to change it to 4. You only need to change this bit, the denominator as 2, as 4. So how do you change that to 4? What is 2 times something gives 4? 2. So we need to multiply this by 2. Now, the rule is whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So if you multiply the bottom by 2, you have to multiply the numerator by 2. There we go. So what is 2 times 23? You can do your working on the side. So 23 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 46. 46. So 2 times 2 at the bottom is already 4. That's fine. You just leave it 4. And then, or you can write it as 46 out of 4 plus 9 out of 4. Now, we have make the denominators the same. So we have done step 3. Step 4, add or minus the numerator. So here, the question is asking you to plus or add the numerator. So you bring it down. So you're going to plus the numerators. What is 46 plus 9? If you can't do it in your head, you can always do your side calculation. So 6 plus 9 is 15. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we have 55 out of 4. Next, ask yourself if you can simplify the fraction. So the trick is when the numerator is even number and when the denominator is an even number, then you can simplify. But this time the numerator is an odd number and the denominator is an even number. So you cannot simplify, and the answer is 55 out of 4. Example 2. 3 out of 2 minus 9 out of 7. Step 1, check the denominators. Look at the denominators. We have 2 and 7. They are not the same, so we have done step 1. Next, we need to find a common multiple. So we need to list out multiple of 2. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Next, I think we need to extend this a bit more. So 12, 14, 16. Next, we need to list out multiple of 7. We have 7, 14, 21, 28. 5 times 7 is 35. 6 times 7 is 42. Let's just stop right there. So we have listed out the multiple of 2 and multiple of 7. Next, we need to find a common multiple. Common here means the same. So let's find if there are same number, if there is a common number between 2 and 7. So we have 14 here and we have 14 here. So the first occurrence or the first number that you see that is the same is 14, which means you need to make the denominator as 14. So that is step 2. Step 3, make the denominators the same. How do we make the denominators the same? Again, do this slowly. So take 2. What is 2 times something gives you 14? 7, which means that you need to multiply the denominator with 7 in order for you to get 14. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So if you multiply 7 times 2 at the bottom, then at the top, you have to multiply the number with 7 as well. So the bottom number is done because 7 times 2 gives us 14. Now let's focus on the top number, 7 times 3. What is 7 times 3? 7 times 3 gives us 21. Next, look at the other fraction. 7. How do you make that into 14? 7 times what gives you 14? Times 2. So, which means that you are going to multiply 7 by 2 to give 14. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So you have to multiply the top number with 2. So we have, what is 9 times 2? 9 times 2 is, let me just change the color so you can see the difference. 14. So 9 times 2 is 18. So we have make the denominator the same. So we are done with step 3. Next, add or minus the numerators. So the question is asking you to minus, so you bring this down. Next, the denominators are already the same, 14 and 14. Now you can minus the numerators. So let's just do a side calculation on this one. 21 minus 18. This becomes 11 and this becomes 1. 11 minus 8 gives us 3. So we have 3 out of 14. Next, ask yourself. So that is step 4. Step 5, simplify if can. So 3 is an odd number. Let me just label that. 3 is an odd number. And 14 is an even number. So when the numbers are odd and even, you cannot simplify this further. So your answer is 3 out of 14. Example 3. 9 out of 8 plus 5 out of 6. Step 1, check the denominators. We have 8 and 6. They are different. So you need to find a common multiple. So let's list out the multiples of 8. We have 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32. 5 times 8 is 40. 6 times 8 is 48. 7 times 8 is 56. So that is multiple of 8. Multiple of 6. 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 6 is 24, 5 times 6 is 30, 6 times 6 is 36, 7 times 6 is 42, 4 times 6 is 48, 9 times 6 is 54. Right, let's just stop there. Next, you need to find a common multiple. So check if there is the same or common multiple between these two numbers. So I can spot a 48 here and I can spot a 48 here. So that is done. Step 2 is done. Step 3, make the denominators the same. So you have found a common multiple, which means that you need to change the denominators to 48. How are you going to change 8 to 48? 8 times what gives you 48? So let's look at multiples of 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this means 48 is the sixth multiple of 8, which means 6 times 8 is 48. So you know here is 6, which means you need to multiply it with 6. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So you need to multiply the top number by 6. So 6 times 9 is 54. Next, how do you change 6 into 48? In other words, what do you multiply it with to get 48? So let's look at our multiple of 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the eighth multiple of 6 is 48, meaning that 6 times 8 gives 48. So you need to multiply this with 8 to get 48. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So if you multiply the bottom number with 8, you need to multiply the top number with 8. So what is 5 times 8? 5 times 8 gives you 40. So step 3 is done. We have to make the denominators the same. Step 4, add or minus the numerators. The question is asking you to plus. So you need to add. So what is 54 plus 40? You can do a side calculation. 54 plus 40. 4 plus 0 is 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. So we have 94 out of 48. Now, that is step 4. Step 5, simplify if can. 94, is it odd or even? As far as I know, it is an even number. And 48 is an even number, which means you can simplify or you can reduce this fraction. So you can divide it by, you can start with 2 and work your way until you have reduced it. So 94 out of 48. Try dividing it by 2. I'll leave this to you so you can try this on your own because we have done simplifying fraction last year. So that's just part of your revision. Now it's time for you to try. Take a piece of paper or your mini whiteboards. Try this. 5 out of 2 minus 13 out of 12. Follow the S to S slowly, one by one. Sometimes you need to change just one of the fraction, and sometimes you need to change two of the fractions, as long as the denominators are the same. Next, try this one. 7 out of 10 plus 2 out of 5. Follow the S to S one by one. Again, may I remind you that sometimes you just need to change one of the fractions. Sometimes you need to change two of the fractions in order to make the denominators the same. And another reminder is whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So for example, if you multiply the bottom number by 2, you have to multiply the numerator by 2. So let's just review this question quickly. So step 1, check the denominators. So the denominators are different. We have 10 and 5. So that is step 1. Step 2, find a common multiple. Because the denominators are different, you need to find a common multiple. So we have 10 here. 1 times 10 is 10, 20, 30, 40. Let me just stop right there. Next, we need to list out multiple of 5. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay. Then you need to find a common multiple, which means you need to find the same number between these two multiples. So the first one that you see is 10 and a 10. So this time, we want to make the denominator as 10, but this one is already 10. The denominator is already 10, so you do not need to multiply it with anything because it's already 10, 10 to 10. But you need to change the other fraction, which is this. You need to change from 5, you need to change it to 10. So how are you going to do that? You are going to multiply it with a number to give 10. So 5 times what gives 10? 2. So you need to multiply this number by 2. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So you have to times it by 2 as well. Right, so this number goes down because it's the same. You're not doing anything to it. Next, 2 times 2 gives you 4, and 5 times 2 gives you 10. So that is step. So we've done step 2. That was step 3. So we've done step 3. Step 4, add or minus the numerators. The question is asking you to plus, so you bring the plus down. So this becomes, since the denominators are the same already, now you can add or subtract the numerators. So 7 plus 4 gives you 11 out of 10. So now, so that is step 4. Step 5, simplify if you can. 11 is an odd number. 10 is an even number. Again, may I remind you, when there is an odd and an even number on a fraction, you cannot reduce it, you cannot simplify it. So your answer is just as 11 out of 10. Or you can change this to mixed number using long division, which you have done last week. Let's just quickly recap our learning objective and our S2S for today. Today we are adding and subtracting fractions with unlike or different denominators. Our S2S for today are, the first one, we need to check the denominators. We need to check if they are the same or if they are different. So if they are different, we need to find a common multiple by first listing the multiples of the denominators. Step 3, we need to make the denominators the same. Usually, it's either you need to change one fraction or you need to change both of the fraction. So as long as the denominators are the same. Step 4, look back at the question. Is it asking you to add or is it asking you to subtract the numerators? Step 5, simplify if can. This is when you have even and even numerators and denominators, or multiples of 5 as the numerators and as the denominators. So give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or middle thumb if you to show how well you understand today's lesson. Today's exercise is included in your home learning pack. The second page is on adding and subtracting unlike fractions. Please do it in pen. You can do your side calculation. You can do your multiples on the paper as well. So I can see that you are following the S2S, and I can see that you are um, doing your working to find the answer. That's all for today. If you have any questions, if you have any problems, you can always contact me privately on my WhatsApp. Good luck, everyone. Bye.